This is the story of a sniper who used to be a teacher, but then something happened in his life after which he was forced to become a dangerous sniper. This story begins in a very quiet area of Ukraine, and in this area we see a small hut. In this hut, there is a couple whose husband's name is Mykola and the wife's name is Nastia. Mykola is a teacher and he teaches math to the kids in a nearby school. He is a very good teacher and all the kids are very happy with him except one whose name was Ivan. Ivan was a very rude boy and he never let Mykola down. But Mykola didn't care about him and he was happy in his life. One day when Mykola was in school, he found out that Russia had attacked Ukraine and had taken over many places in Ukraine. When Mykola came home in the evening, he found out that his wife was pregnant. He was very happy to know this and they celebrated this happiness together. The next day, Mykola said bye to his wife and left for work. But when he was on the way, he saw two soldiers. Mykola didn't pay much attention to this and quickly reached his school. But when he came inside the school, he found the whole school empty. Then he saw the news on TV that Russia has captured his city, and now he realized that the soldiers he saw on the way were actually Russian. Thinking this, he was worried about his wife and ran towards his house. When he reached home, he saw two soldiers who were beating his wife badly. He tried to save his wife, but these soldiers also beat him. Mykola requested them not to kill her because she was pregnant, but these soldiers did not listen to him. After this, they searched Mykola's house and started to burn it. Now their house was burning and Nastia got angry and she tried to kill them with a stone. Seeing this, the soldiers fired the bullets and Nastia died at the time. Now, seeing his wife die, Mykola completely broke and started crying. A few hours passed and two Ukrainian soldiers came to Mykola. They identified him and dug a grave to help him bury the Nastia. After the death of the Nastia, Mykola's life was completely shattered and now he had no home and no family. Mykola was burning in the fire of revenge and he had to kill those soldiers at any cost, and by thinking this, he decided to join the Ukrainian army. After this, these two soldiers came to their base with Mykola, but when their senior saw Mykola, he got very angry and refused to admit him to the army because he was afraid that Mykola might be a spy. Here Mykola told him the whole thing and made him believe that he wanted to kill the Russian soldiers and liberate this country. After hearing this, the colonel decided to give him one more chance, and from the next day, his training began. Now, because Mykola was a common man, he was having a lot of trouble during training. Here, a fellow officer helped Mykola and taught him to assemble and disassemble the gun. Everyone present in the camp felt that Mykola would never be a good soldier, but he also did not give up and continued his training. One night, Mykola tells his friends not to call him by his name because his code name is Raven. Everyone laughed at him and told him that any soldier doesn't get the code name easily. He has to earn it. However, Mykola didn't care about these things and he kept training himself. One day, Mykola's senior tells them that the number of snipers in our group is very low and we have to increase this number so that we can compete with the Russians. Here, the senior asks, "How many of you want to become a sniper?" Hearing this, some people came forward and Mykola was also among them, because he also wanted to be a sniper. Seeing Mykola, his senior tells him that he is not ready to be a sniper. "You can't assemble and disassemble a gun." On this, Mykola says that I need only one chance to prove myself and I will do this in 20 seconds. Hearing this, Mykola's senior puts a gun on the table and tells Mykola to come forward. Now, to prove himself, he ties a bandage on his eyes and quickly opens the gun and joins it again, and it takes only 18 seconds to do this work. Now seeing the success of Mykola, everyone is impressed with him and claps for him. And now, seeing his ability, he is also included in the sniper training. During the training, an old model gun is given to Mykola, while the rest of the people are given a modern weapon. Seeing this, Mykola also demands a modern weapon, on which the senior tells him that if you want that gun, you have to prove yourself. Now, he had no other option, so he took whatever he got and left. During the training, the senior tells everyone that there is a sniper no matter what situation arises, but it does not move even an inch from its place and it aims at its target. For its practice, he shoots bullets near the soldiers on the ground and the sniper who moves from his position is taken out of this training. But when it's Mykola's turn, he doesn't move at all and keeps his target. In the next training, the sniper is shown their target only once and then their eyes are covered and they have to guess and shoot their target. Now the rest of the people complete this test, but Mykola fails in this because the gun he had was very old and it was very difficult to do this with it. Next, training was more difficult for these snipers because they had to shoot their target in the light of the flare, and that too, in the dark of night. Here the senior left the flare and everyone aimed at him, but no one could hit the target. Here, Mykola did not shoot, and in the light of the flare, he measured the distance of his target and used his maths knowledge to hit a perfect shot. Seeing this, his senior was very impressed with him and gave him his desired code name. The days passed by and Mykola was training hard, and finally that day came when the result of his training was about to come. Here the colonel saluted Mykola and told him that he had passed this test. After a few days, the colonel comes to him and tells him to pack his stuff because he has to go on a mission. News has come that some Russian soldiers have captured a check post. Soon the team of Mykola reached the location and set their target, and now these people are going to kill those Russian soldiers. Then they saw a car that was moving towards the check post. Here the Russian soldiers stopped the car and told the people inside to come out. 6:17 they checked their passports and searched the entire car. When everything was fine, these soldiers gave them permission to go, but they kept their passports with them. When they opposed it, these soldiers beat them up. Seeing all this, the colonel ordered his soldiers to fire, and as soon as he saw it, all the Russian soldiers were killed, and in this way, their first mission was completed. After the mission, when everyone returned to the base, Mykola saw that many of his companions were not present at the base. He was told that his other comrades were sent on another mission. The next day, Mykola got to know that many of his comrades were killed during that mission. A Russian sniper killed all of them. The name of that sniper was Sari, and he was Russia's most dangerous sniper. Some days passed and Mykola left with his comrades on his next mission. Reaching the location, they spread mines all around and took their positions. After a while, Russian soldiers arrived there and Ivan was also with them. Ivan was the same guy who used to harass Mykola in school, and now he joined the Russian army. As soon as their feet landed on the landmines, a powerful explosion took place there and they all died. Here the colonel explained to Mykola that he should not be sad about Ivan's death because Ivan's decision to join the Russian army was his own. After completing the mission, they all returned to their base camp. Here the colonel showed Mykola his family photo and told him that there are 3 people in his family, and his 2 daughters are unaware that their father is a soldier. Here, Mykola also told the colonel his whole story about how mercilessly the Russian soldiers killed his wife. During this time, Mykola got very emotional, but the colonel handled him. The next morning, they all left for their next mission. This mission was very important because they got the news that a Russian soldier squad was going to pass through this road. Colonel and Mykola quickly reached the location and took their position. After a while, they see 2 Russian soldiers waiting for their team. Here, Mykola notices that one of them is the one who shot his wife and he was on the right target. Here, Mykola asked for permission to shoot, but the colonel refused. Now, Mykola was getting angry and he had to kill his wife's killer, so he asked for permission to fire again. But once again the colonel refused. But now Mykola's patience was broken and he shot. The soldier died on the spot, but the Russians also found out their location. But the worst part was that the most dangerous sniper in Russia, whose name was Sari, was also in their position, and now he also found out their location. The colonel also knew that Sari was nearby, so he started looking for Sari. But before he knew his location, Sari gave him a headshot and the colonel died on the spot. Now Mykola understood that the Russians had found out their location and how his one mistake killed the colonel. Russian soldiers also started firing on Mykola. Mykola decided to back up. He picked up the colonel's body and started coming back from his position. He quickly came out of the enemy's area and reached his base. Mykola was very sad about the colonel's death. Here he swore that he would kill Sari and avenge the colonel's death. Soon Mykola got news of 2 Russian snipers and he went on his next mission. He reached the location and set his target. Soon he shot a sniper, but he got shot during this firing. But he didn't give up and somehow shot the other sniper. Now, because he was injured, he went to a secret base and gave his body some rest. During this time, he got a call from the army's major and he told Mykola that he had found the sniper who had killed the colonel. After this, Mykola reached his base and the major started telling everyone about that sniper. The major tells us that the sniper's name is Sari and he is Russia's best sniper. Sari has killed the 6 most capable snipers in Ukraine. so we should not underestimate him. The Major tells us that Sari is a sniper who usually does not change his position, and he sits in a special location and kills his enemies. Now they all made a plan that they would make 2 teams at the location of the Sari. According to the plan, their first team would attack the Russian soldiers from the front, and when they were busy in this attack, their second team would attack them from behind. Taking advantage of this, Mykola will go inside the building and kill Sari. After the complete planning, they all went towards that location. After reaching the location, all the snipers took their positions and set their targets. Mykola also entered the building where he saw 2 Russian soldiers. He killed them without any delay and went ahead in the building. After this, he gave a signal to his team, and as soon as they got the signal, they killed all the soldiers. Here Sari noticed that no one was reporting him. He felt something was wrong, so he went to the roof of the building where a sniper was already present, but when he went up he saw that the sniper was dead. And now Sari realized that the Ukrainian soldiers were surrounding him from all sides. He contacted for backup on his base, but it was going to take 10 minutes for the backup to reach him. Hearing this, he quickly came to his position and started looking for Ukrainian soldiers, but then he saw a toy from Mykola that his wife had given him. Now the Sari could think that Mykola had attacked him and stabbed him to death, but due to this hand-to-hand fight, the other sniper in the building got a little alert. But before he could do anything, Mykola threw a grenade at him, and in this explosion, the last sniper was killed. Here, the backup team of the Sari also reached the building, but they were unaware that the Sari were dead now. So when they called the Sari, Mykola answered the call and told them that they were all going to die, and by saying this, he shot the truck driver. Now, as soon as the bullet went off, a riot broke out among the Russian soldiers, and they all jumped out of the truck, but they were unaware that the Ukrainian snipers were going to hunt them. Here Ukrainian soldiers shot and killed Russians one by one. After a few days of this mission, Mykola went to his wife's grave because the promise he had made to her was now fulfilled. He killed all those people who killed his wife and the colonel. Here Mykola swore that he would serve his country till the last breath, and he left saying this. And with this great movie ended here. I hope you liked this story. If you liked the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video, but until then, be safe and keep chilling.